Hello again. A very impromptu video. I just felt like coming out here and doing some crocheting, so I figured I would kind of show you what I'm doing. Now that it's starting to warm up, I am making crochet water balloons, and I'm going to kind of give you a very unconventional tutorial on how to do it. But first of all, hi, my name is Amy. I go by the name Mombie, half mom, half zombie. I have 5 kids and 2 grandkids, so I feel that way sometimes. Anyway, I love to crochet, I love to sew. I am a substance use and mental health advocate, and I'm a person who's in long-term recovery myself. So welcome, and thank you for being here. I gotta get better at that, but practice makes perfect, right? So these water balloons have been a really good seller for me on like Facebook Marketplace, in the neighborhood buy and sell groups. What I do every year, we have a little splash pad that's right down the street from my house, and what I do is I take 2 water balloons, put them in a baggie with a little note that has a QR code to my Instagram that says, you know, how to use them, and and to order more, here's my QR code and here's my information. And I go and I take samples to the splash pad and I hand them out to the parents first of all, because I don't want to give them to a little kid and them get in trouble for, you know, the parents not knowing where it came from or whatever. So I give it to the parents and I tell them what it is and I tell them who I am, and if they want to order more, they can. I've had a couple of the stores in our little town carry them for me. I usually sell them, when I'm selling them myself, I will sell 6 for $10 or 12 for $20. So that's just, I mean, I'm not making a shit ton of money or anything, but they're easy to make and they sell, and I feel good when I sell things, so I like to make them. So I use just whatever Bernat blanket yarn I can find, just actually whatever blanket yarn I can find, period. I find that this the chenille texture works a hell of a lot better than the velvet. Don't try to use velvet because it doesn't absorb as much. The chenille actually sucks it up like a sponge. And the way that these work, if you've never seen them before, they're not filled with anything. They're just a little crocheted sack, basically. They dunk them in water, and the chenille works like a sponge and absorbs all the water, and then you can throw them at your friends. They splash like a water balloon, and you can pick them up, refill them, dunk them in the bucket again or whatever, and keep rethrowing them. At the end of the day, when you're done with them, pick them up, put them in a bag, and hang them to dry. When they get crusty, dusty, gross from being in the yard or whatever, you can put them in the washing machine and the dryer, and it's not going to mess them up. My kids have some of these that we've had for probably 10 years, and they're hanging out in our yard still, so they last a really long time if you take care of them, and the kids have a lot of fun with them. So let me just quickly explain. I can't point my camera down, but I'll just give you a very basic tutorial, and there's tons of tutorials all over YouTube. That's where I found out how to use it, how to do them. So I will use either a 6.5 or a 7mm hook. 6.5 seems to work a lot better for me. I don't know why. It's just the right size. I guess that's the size I learned with for these, and it just seems like the right one. So I start with a magic ring. I can't, like I said, I can't exactly show you what I'm doing, but if you know basics, you should, you know, kind of be able to follow along. So I start with a magic ring and I chain 3, and that's not going to count as a stitch. So you're going to double crochet 8 into your ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, and then I find that little tail there and pull it tight to close my magic ring, so it'll look like this kind of. And then you want to close your ring, so slip stitch into the top of your first stitch, not the chain, or the top of the chain 3 or the top of the first double crochet. Slip stitch in there and pull through, and then you're going to chain up 2. Okay, kind of doing it backwards here. you're going to double crochet 2 in each of the 8 stitches. So you'll end up with 16 at the end of this round. So this is going to take me just a second so you can enjoy the sounds of the birds chirping and the cars driving down my street coming home for the day. It's about, I don't even know, like 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm guessing, here in Colorado. I haven't even looked at the clock since I've been home, honestly. Today I went to the doctor and got some labs drawn and got some new ADHD meds to try, some new sleep meds to try. My anxiety's been really high lately, and so I speak up for myself as a person who's in long-term recovery. I speak up when my anxiety or my mental health feels a little off. I speak up so that I don't ever get into a place where I feel like I'm ever going to relapse. So I talked to my doctor and I got some new meds, so hopefully that will work and help me out here pretty soon. I start a new job pretty soon, and it's going to be the first in-office 40-hour-a-week job that I've had in very at least 20 years. So it's going to be a lot of new beginnings. So anyway, let's see. Okay, so I got to the end of the round, so you want to always double check your stitches. So we want to have 16, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Cool. So you want to slip stitch into the top of the last the first of your round, slip stitch, and then yeah, single crochet, you know what I mean, chain 1. I can't think today, actually chain 2, and then you're going to double crochet in each of the 16 around, so you'll end up with 16 stitches again, and this is going to take just a second. So anyway, in just a couple of days, I am going to celebrate a really cool milestone in my recovery. I will have, on April 13th, which I'm sure I will make another video, on April 13th, I will celebrate 9 years of active and sustained recovery. I have not had a drop of alcohol, a prescription not prescribed to me, or any illegal drugs. So that's really cool, because I remember a time when I couldn't go, you know, more than 3 hours without alcohol, or I would get physically ill. So the fact that I've gone 9 years, it still just blows me away. So that's really exciting. And I'm starting a new job right about that time. I'm going to be working in a health clinic, working in their MAT clinic, the Medicated Assisted Treatment, MAT. It's for humans who are trying to come off of harder drugs to come off of, like opiates. They give you medications that are opiate-like so that your body doesn't go through as bad of withdrawals, and you can come off of these drugs a little bit easier with some help, so that, you know, you're not just raw dogging it or going cold turkey or having to go to a really hard detox. It's a lot easier on the body, a lot easier on the psyche too. So I'm really excited to be able to help other humans who are in recovery, and, you know, share part of my journey to help them on theirs. So I finished those 16. So to go over it again, we did the magic ring. We did 8 in the first round. Then we did 2 double crochets in each of those 8 to equal 16. Then on the round 3, we did 1 double crochet in each one of these. Each one all the way around to equal 16 again. Now some people do another row of 16 double crochets. It makes the balloon a little bit longer. To me, it makes it a lot heavier, and they hurt a lot more whenever the water, whenever they smack you. I have teenagers, and so they throw them really hard. And so I figure if they're not too big, you know, they can't really like knock an eye out or anything. I mean, I'm just kidding. They're very soft. They're not gonna knock an eye out, hopefully. But you know, just I prefer not to make that second round of 16 double crochets, but you can. So what I do on round 4 is I decrease. So I will do a double crochet 2 together, those 8 times, from 16 down to 8. And if you don't know what a double crochet 2 together, I'm sorry, you crochet over, I can't even think of the terms right now. Yarn over, there it is. Go through your loops, pull your hook, pull 2, and crochet, or no, whatever, you know, go through 2, don't go through 2 again like you would a double crochet, yarn over again, go through the next 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops, so you have 3 on your hook, and then pull through all 3. So yarn over, go through, pull back, go through 2, yarn over, go through, pull it back, go through 2, and then go through all 3. And you're gonna do that for all 16 stitches. So you will be back down to 8, like I said. I'm not the world's fastest crocheter, especially when I know people are watching me. I do find it really relaxing to watch other people crochet though, so maybe one day I'll just make a video of like me crocheting and you'll just be like, oh. I don't know, I really like watching it, especially people that hold their hook a different way than me, or they hold their yarn a different way than me. Just like, I just find it really cool. I find it like kind of like looking at art, you know, different people's interpretation of beauty. So once we get those 8, then we are going to slip stitch again and chain 1, and then so we're getting back down small, and we're going to do it again. We're going to do the 2 together again, and now we're going to have 4 stitches, so do it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, yeah, gross. 4. Okay, so we're back down to 4 stitches. Slip stitch into your first one. It's gonna start getting a little wonky here. Okay, you slip stitch. Now we're gonna chain 1, 2, 3. Now this is just a style preference because what we're done with the balloon part. Now we got to make the little end that makes it look like we tied our balloon. Like it actually looks kind of like a little balloon. This little end part we're gonna add on. So what I do is I chain 3, and then I put 3 double crochets in this first stitch. And then I put 2 in each one after that. So it won't be like just a circle, it'll actually flare out. And the last one here. And remember, if you mess up, your crochet never has to be perfect. Crochet is art, art is subjective. People that don't crochet could look at a pile of yarn and just go, oh my god, that's so beautiful, because they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know, they just think it's really cool that you made that thing. They don't even know what it's supposed to be or what it's supposed to look like. They never saw the pattern. So, you know, if you mess up a little bit, just go with it. Don't frustrate yourself. Don't pull back 10 rows of stitching just because you missed one little tiny stitch. Throw a piece of yarn in there later, tie it up, you know, there's ways you can fix things without punishing yourself. So I finished all of those, and here we kind of have a little, it doesn't quite look finished yet, right? See how it's still kind of fat? So this is what I do, okay? Not everybody has to do this, right? So I slip stitched and I chained 1. I leave, you know, about a good 8 inches of yarn, and then I cut it. Pull through all the way through so that ties off right there at that end. I stick my hook in right here where the little neck is, right here, and I pull this yarn through so it's coming out right at the neck, okay? Like it kind of threw up right there in the neck, okay? I make sure it's straight right here. I'm just, you know, that's just how I am. I put my finger here so it doesn't tighten up too much, and I wrap it around. Tighten it up. Don't pull too hard because this yarn rips really easy. I wrap it up, pull it another way, tighten it up. You can do this 2 or 3 times until you feel like it's pretty snug. It's really not going to go anywhere. Just don't pull it too tight or it's going to come undone, and then you're going to be like, oh no, what do I do now? So now you have this tail. I just tuck it in. I just stick my hook in somewhere on the bottom. I stick it way up here where it's at. I pull it through and I go down as far as I can, and then I just use my fingers to tuck the rest in, or the bottom of my hook if it's being stingy and I'm feeling stabby, Anyway, so that's not a perfect tutorial, but that's, a very unconventional way of learning. But I mean, it's really simple. 8, 16, 16, 8, 4. Well, it's really, the 8, but the way that you had to get to them, do 4. So 8, 16, 16, 8, 4. And then you do your little bottom, tie it up, and there you go. Whenever I deliver them to customers, I will either put them in a little mesh bag, not that I crocheted because that's going to be more expensive if I do that, either like a mesh bag I found at the dollar store, or I'll just do it in a freezer bag. I ask them how many they want. We either do porch pickup, or I can drop them off at their house, or I can ship them. It's whatever. And I do not offer people color choices because I can't always get, like, if it's 4th of July, I can't always get this red, white, and blue yarn. It sells out around that time of year. So what I do on my ads is I just put 6 or 12 random colored balloons, and kids don't give a shit. They don't care what color the balloons are, as long as they're fun. And we don't need to do the pink for girls and blue for boys, because color is subjective and color has no gender. So anyway, I just wanted to show you one other thing that I've just been kind of working on. I found I needed a mindless project without thinking for a while, because I just finished a sweater that I left in the house by accident. So I can't show you, I'll have to show you on the next time. But I found this Twister Halloween yarn from Mombie that was in my yarn room. And I was like, ooh, I like this color, so I'm just gonna make a shawl. And I'm just gonna put whatever stitches I want to on it, and I'm just gonna do different stitches on each row. So this is what I have come up with so far. And we have some different raised stitches, some puff stitches, more puffs. I got some crisscrosses down here. I mean, you can barely even see them because it turned into black, but I've got all different kinds of stitches in here, and then it'll turn to solid black whenever I get to the very end. But that's that so far. And you can wear your shawls like this under your jacket to be cute, or you can wear them around the back whenever you want to keep your shoulders warm. Put it on your side to cover up your bikini whenever you're on the pool. There's so many different things that you can do with shawls. Snuggle up next to it in the bed whenever you want just something snuggly. I just like them because they're so cozy. I like to put them on and take them with me places, and because I have anxiety, I just like anyway, so that's what I've been working on. I mainly have just been working on it like in Bible study and in church and stuff, because I have ADHD, so I have to do 15 things at one time. So that's that. Let's see, I told you about the new job. Went to the doctor, blah, 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 blah. My health is doing okay. Nothing to write home about right now. No big events or anything like that. I am volunteering for another recovery company, and we are in the planning stages of a rally for recovery that is going to be a huge event that has thousands of people that come from all over the state to Denver, and we do it right in the middle of downtown Denver. And we have this just big rally for recovery, lots of different vendors that are different recovery organizations, sober livings, therapy places, just anything that you can think of in the recovery or mental health arena. And so I'm putting together volunteers for that right now, and that's not till September, so I'm working on that. And I got the new job that I'm starting, and my birthday was on Friday, and so now I am officially an old lady. I'm just kidding, I've been an old lady for a while, but I just turned 47. And the only reason I tell people that is just because, I'm not afraid of my age. I'm not ashamed of my age. I'm not one of those ladies that has to have makeup on all the time, obviously. I can do it, I do it, but just not a lot. But so I got, my kids' birthdays are all over. That we're all within the same 2 weeks also. So there's 3 kids' birthdays and myself all within 2 weeks. So birthday season is officially over. 2 of my daughters had the birthdays. 1 of my sons had the birthday. So that's been really fun. We have a trip coming up, a family trip coming up at the end of May. We're going to Zion National Park in Utah. So I'm going to absolutely take some gorgeous videos while we're there. I do want to put together a video telling my story of my recovery, of why I sought out substances in the first place, what I've learned, how I got into recovery, how I've sustained my recovery, and what I've learned about why I sought those substances in the first place. I have a lot of stuff that I've, thought about and put together, and I've had different speeches at different places and stuff, so I gotta mesh different stuff together. But I want to tell my story because it's something that's very rarely talked about, is the dangers of alcohol addiction. They talk about drunk driving, and they talk about you can destroy your family and stuff, but they don't tell you the graphic details of what can happen with alcohol addiction to your body. And so I just want to share being a quiet, shy, straight-A student that turned into a raging alcoholic that had to be put on life support to detox. So it happens, and now I have been sober for almost 9 years, and I still can't believe that. And I get to help other people find their recovery, which is hard. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else that I'm missing out on. I am gonna try to clean up all of my yarn in the near future, and I have a whole lot of projects that I have been working on that I just haven't shown because I have ADHD, and I finished a project 3/4 of the way through and then I threw it on the floor. So anyway, if you're still here, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate you sitting with me through my tutorial. I appreciate you sitting with me through my ranting. And I am gonna go just enjoy the rest of my evening before the sun goes down. It's beautiful. It was 71 degrees here in Colorado today. Well, in Denver it was. And so I'm just gonna relax on my patio and enjoy watching the sunset. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Do something good for yourself. Do some real self-care. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Shut the bathroom door. Take a long hot bath. Don't let anybody interrupt you. Go for a walk. Meditate. Paint your nails. Take yourself out for dinner. Get yourself that latte. Do the things that make you happy. If you have a hard doctor's appointment, go buy yourself that yarn you wanted. Big kids can have treats too. We need to treat ourselves. We all need to be good to one another. Thank you all for coming. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.